Okay, so this is the last in-depth trailer I'll be looking at, and it's Marley. So from the start, Magnolia Pictures appears with a black background, so it stands out, and so the audience know who is involved in the production of the documentary. There's then a use of a fadeaway to where we are presented with an establishing shot of a crowd at a concert with with the typography, you know the name, and this is in a dusk type color, presenting an area of, I guess, hardship and somewhere with a lot of sun as well. As this is on the screen, there's some dialogue of an unknown person. Well, we could hear the dialogue of someone, and we don't know who it is. And they have a heavy Jamaican accent, which is then hard to pick up. So, but we do hear them say Bob Marley though, out of all the stuff they said. There's then a quick fire of photographs of Bob Marley where we see various colours which grabs our attention. A match on action shot is used as each photo changes, so you hear the non-diegetic sound effect of the camera taking the photo, which adds a sense of realism to it. Then it cuts to a shot of Bob Marley speaking to an interviewer saying, yeah, this is my identity. After this, there's a short passage of a montage of clips of people dancing and Bob Marley dancing on stage. At this moment, a man is talking, and we see glimpses of him talking his way as well, so the audience can get an understanding, so they know who's actually speaking. So they, yeah, by just seeing the first person, you hear the impression that this documentary will have a lot of people who were living in Jamaica and in the same society. So we know as audience that we can gain an understanding of Bob Marley from the true fans and his true friends who were ever so close to him. This is important because the producers may have chose another approach where they are talking more of a standpoint where they got their information from the internet, but they chose to actually speak to people living on the island, and this makes the audience understand that this is a really thought out documentary, and that they've actually put time into it and considered Bob Marley's actual effect in society through his music. The typography is very interesting in the way of presentation. They have a dark background with a moving image behind the text, but it's only focusing on a small part where it's not detectable. With the text slowly, well, this is also with the text slowly zooming in as well. This use of post production is great because it made me look closer and be more engaged with the trailer, which is the whole point, obviously. We gaze that this is potentially more of a sit down talking based documentary due to three scenes in a row of people talking the about past experiences with Bob Marley. At first, we see one of his sons and a loyal fan. Well, yeah, a loyal fan would know who it is, as we do hear him say "my father." This shows to the audience that there's a personal level towards the documentary, meaning the facts should be straight, and that the people watching this would know bits will know that it's a celebration of his life. Three other people then start talking in the same format of voiceovers to then seeing them on screen with the camera stationary on a tripod, where they talk about smoking, car doors being open as they're driving down the streets, and many more stuff as well. The information these people provide gives us more of an insight into Bob Marley's life and would entice the audience to watch the whole documentary because they would want to hear more about him from stuff they may not have known. As this is going on, a more and more interviews coming up, we are hearing several of his songs being played softly in the background. As a background music creates a greater nature and to make you feel like you are at one of Bob Marley's concerts. So it is really chilling as well. So it does make you feel comfortable and really relaxed while watching the trailer. And this is sort of a representation of the music Bob Marley produces as well. More secondary footage is shown of Bob Marley dancing and singing at his concerts. Long and mid-range shots for the most part. There are some close-ups where you can see his true emotions while dancing, which make you smile because he's having a great time living. As a white gentleman says, there was that sense that he was about to be massive. You could tell that the tone was about to change. You then see a few dark shots that are just highlighting Bob Marley's face, where he looks upset and puts his hands in his head, with a gun then showing to then a picture of a newspaper saying how Bob Marley was shot. This scene was very quick and dramatic, which worked perfectly in how life and a career can be going great for someone, or for someone, and then something like a gun can nearly ruin it all. The tone and the feel of the trailer changes, where we see some cutaways and a drone used for one shot to show poverty, children are still running and having fun at the same time. A couple of on ground level shots are seen with people walking and chilling out, but you get the feeling that nothing is the same, potentially due to Bob Marley being shot. So you do get the vibe that after hearing bad news like this, everyone is on edge. We then gain a couple more pieces of footage with Bob Marley, and then he is talking to an interviewer about his love for people, and that is what makes him so great. The audience hearing him talk about this gives them more context on what you'll hear from the actual man himself. One of his most famous quotes about being rich is said, and this adds emotion and attachment for the audience because it's so renowned across the world as well. It ends with a series of pictures with the match on action shot being used again, with the addition of non-diegetic sound of people clapping and then shouting. The title then appears with theatre lights shining up specific parts of the title, with the background colours moving in a curtain style. So there was colours like green, yellow, and red, I think it was. Overall, I think this trailer would entice me to watch the whole documentary. This is because it shows us a bit more into Bob Marley's life that we may not have known, and making it exciting to know more. And it is essentially a celebration of how influential he was as a person and in music. Cinematography was very good because their own footage had a lot of handheld movements, tracking shots, as well, which adds the sense that this is a small island and it's essentially rough around the edges in a way. One scene I do like is when a low angle shot is used with the two white males and Bob Marley on stage with their hands all together, showing that people's races can come together and enjoy themselves. The time year wise when some of the footage was recorded on the cameras weren't at a quality standard due to technology. However, I do like the camera that has been used because it brings out rich, strong colours, catching your eye, and creating a warm feel relating to the representation of Bob Marley. There's also pictures that add variation as well, and it makes the trailer more engaging to actually watch. Location wise, everything has been filmed in Jamaica because they wanted to add the home feel and make the audience understand the lifestyle as well. A tripod would have been used for interviews so you would feel more comfortable, and it makes it have the sense of more seriousness towards the actual documentary as well. Sound is very accurate in the same sense of timing of the music, and when the match on action shot is used with the photographs as well. The music makes you slightly. It does make you slightly move to the beat. Dialogue use is well. The dialogue that's used isn't really wasted and actually has meaning to it, so it's really interesting and engaging, and it does have some open-ended stuff as well. And because most of them are telling stories, it does entice you to hear either the whole story or other stories. Within editing, it was obvious that Bob Marley would have the most screen time because it's based on him, so that's understandable. There was a sense of a there was sort of a sense of a montage, but there was more of a structure in comparison to the other two trailers I analysed. Cutaways are used to provide context for the viewers. Post production was vital with the text because of the animation used, which is also a good addition to have because it does show there was a modernized feel to the trailer as well.